City e-bikes are evolving, and this is now the era of lightweight and foldable, yet powerful and enjoyable electric bikes. The next one I have on the shortlist is Engwe's P20, and here are all the good and the bad things I've discovered about it. Let's inspect. So, how about this e-bike? I mean, from the standpoint of someone who is a big fan of mountain biking, given the fact that we have no front suspension and these thin tires, I feel it's quite boring. From the standpoint of someone who is a big fan of electric bikes, well, totally the lightweight construction attracts me. And from the standpoint of someone who is in the search for the best possible folding city electric bike on a budget, this Engwe P20 at the price of $1,100 sounds like a dream come true. But is it really that good? I invite you to stay till the end, explore all the strong and the weak sides, and figure out whether the P20 by Engwe is the right fit for you. Let's go! Price-wise, Engwe nailed it. This is the cheapest foldable e-bike with a torque sensor from a brand sort of easy to recognize. Unboxing experience has been good. Well, was about to be much better if I had followed my own habits. This time, because I knew the bike is lightweight, I've decided to take the bike out from the top area of the box. Thanks to the protective foam blocks being stuck to the cardboard, it was significantly more challenging than expected, but it's been quite smooth once it got out. You have a lot of cable ties to get rid of. Yeah, Engwe did a good job about protecting the bike from scratches. Mostly. I was still able to find one. Surprisingly, the front wheel was not mounted, and I also had to make sure the handlebar is being installed. It's actually the task you should prioritize, so that it becomes much easier to put the front wheel on once the bike is upside down. You're gonna have to remove the protective pad for the brakes, then gently install the wheel, tighten, add the front fender. That's most of it, together with attaching the pedals, of course. Compared to some other similarly sized bikes, I've spent considerable amount of time to put together the P20, something that Engwe should have optimized a little more. But given the price point, they might have had to cut some corners in the end. I think design-wise, the bike looks cool. There are a couple of folding mechanisms, all the wires which are inside the tubes. There's a wide handlebar that you can adjust in terms of height, and the bike feels comfy, even for a tall person like me. If you're interested in hearing about the specs, then let me begin with a 250-watt motor with 38 Nm of torque. It supports your pedaling to up to 25 km/h speeds. There's a 9.6 Ah battery, carbon belt drive, fenders, rear rack, integrated cabling and lights, hydraulic disc brakes, 20-inch tires, aluminum alloy construction, and the bike weighs only 18.5 kilos. Yeah, always good to hear about the specs. Now we should do some reading between the lines in order to find out which are the good and not so good sides. And should I start with whatever I like or whichever makes me nervous and worried? Let's cover the things that are nice to have. Rear hub motor with good acceleration, and because it's a hub motor it means close to zero maintenance, and it should be fairly durable. We have a carbon belt drive, which means the bike feels lighter and you would never ever get any oily stains on your trousers. I expect really decent braking out of this dual disc hydraulic brake setup, and we're about to test it in just a few moments. And overall the bike looks very promising, especially given the price point and the very promising range because of the rather large battery integrated. But there are certain things that make me a little nervous. For instance, I couldn't find out which is the exact model of the motor here on the back, and yes, we know it's 38 Nm in terms of torque, which is good. Actually, it feels even better than what addons deploying their 350-watt motor, which is rated at 42 Nm, but still, I prefer to know what we have over here exactly. Also, the frame, which looks phenomenal, and everything is integrated and no cables are hanging in between, but surprisingly, Engwe promised just 12-month warranty period at times when everybody's thinking about longevity and looking for something that can last at least several years. So that is a bit alarming, and I really hope I'm going to see some updates in regards to the warranty terms. As for real life performance, the mileage, the braking performance, the acceleration, I think it's a good moment to start doing some tests together. Hop on and see what this bike can actually do in real life. Acceleration feels superb thanks to the use of a torque sensor. As someone who likes to try out e-bikes, I'm definitely not going to consider this torque sensor to be perfectly tuned, because at mode 3 I can almost do ghost pedaling. From 0 to 25 km per hour, the P20 can accelerate fairly quickly, and given its size, riding speeds between 10 and 25 km per hour are the sweet spot, so it is totally a great match for every city commuter. Plus, with its compact size, it may occupy less space even than an e-scooter, and you can totally use it as a conventional bike should the battery get exhausted. If you're looking for more clues to like, here's the major one: the battery life indeed. Having a single 9.6 Ah battery feels kind of common, but even though Addo Air from last year supposedly has kind of greater capacity, Engwe P20 has been consistently providing greater range per charge and a lot more reliable and accurate display information about the battery state. To relate this statement to numbers, at mode 3, which is the most intensive, I had my first battery cycle finished at close to 55 kilometers, meaning that at mode 1, I'm probably gonna make more than 70. The more you pedal, the greater the range, and if you only use the battery power to support you while accelerating, likely you can easily cross the 100-kilometer barrier. It's kind of surprising that this year, Engwe's lineup has become spectacular about battery endurance. The mentioned battery is portable, you can lock it as well. The bike has no mechanical gears because of the carbon belt. But hey, this means that there are 3 components less to maintain. There's no derailleur, no speed shifter, and the lack of chain also converts into lower overall weight. The frame design is good looking, with all the cables integrated inside the tubes, which adds extra layer of protection against rain. The fenders will protect you practically from anything. As for the tires, well, they happen to be the only softening material when it comes to smooth riding. The total absence of suspension is understandable for a city e-bike, not preferable for gravel roads though, and if we talk about off-road riding, it is possible but not pleasant, and staying longer away from flat surfaces is gonna make your body feel uncomfortable. Speaking of comfort, you can adjust the seat post and also the weight of the handlebars. Braking experience is great. The previous Engwe model that I've tried has shown some weaknesses in this area, but P20 stays strong no matter what. Reliable and quiet at the same time. And probably the most fun out of all are the lights. Once again, an integrated front light makes the bike feel very futuristic and feels like a signature designed by Engwe already. There's an integrated rear light and the 2 side lights, which can be invaluable if you often ride in the city because they can act as turn signals. The display is perfectly visible no matter the light conditions. Well, in daytime, it looks kind of pale, of course. You can find a lot of available information from this display. On the right, there's a throttle lever, but it is deactivated for the EU customers. To me as well. And no, I didn't find a way to make it work. Did you? Comments are the right place to let me know. Oh, and last but not least, folding. Rather easy, has a few grades and converts the bike into something smaller than a compact baby stroller. If you're seriously planning to get a city e-bike, perhaps talking about some of the drawbacks makes good sense. This time, the list is quite short. My only complaints are related to the rather thin tires, the absence of a variation with front suspension, and the lack of a smartphone app. In the end, let me give an answer to the question, should you buy this particular model? I mean, to me the answer is pretty clear. No, do not do this mistake. Instead, go for the white edition or for the green edition, because both of them are so much more fun. I mean, this kind of black doesn't really match the whole concept of the bike, because I do expect that people who like the colorful life, who enjoy going to the city, having fun with the bike, and enjoying something which stands out, because this really does. And the black color, yeah, it's fine, probably too boring for my taste, but the bike overall, for $1,100, you can't go wrong with it. It's reliable, it accelerates quickly, the battery range is phenomenal for this price point, and yes, the price, in my opinion, this is the best foldable electric bike of 2023, given the scale, capacity and overall performance. And sure, it's not perfect in no way, it doesn't have a smartphone app, which probably is good because you never would be concerned that your private data is gonna be leaked to someone else's server. And well, I definitely would love to see a comment from Engwe about the warranty period of the frame, because this definitely bothers me. So it would be great if Engwe can step in and comment about this right below the video, where you can also join and let me know what you think about the P20. Is it better than the competition? Do you prefer to see a version with suspension? And what do you think about the overall performance of this electric bike? As usual, it's been so much fun to prepare all of that for you. I'm the Tech Mishka. Can't wait to see you in the next episode, therefore would highly appreciate if you subscribe and give me a like. And I guess I'll see you soon. Ride safely. See you in the next episode.